Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. If you're around here, smash the like button. Please tickle the notification bell so you know when I'm live, and keep subscribing as this is getting there towards the 20,000 subscribers. And in this transfer video today, we've got some massive news for you that does concern Tottenham Hotspur. We've been linked with a lot of footballers, and a new one has come out today. A player that PSG, no less, are trying to sign, and a player that I happen to think is very good and will make our defence a lot more solid. So let's get into it, shall we? So Tottenham Hotspur are apparently after Ilia Zabarnyi of Bournemouth, the 22-year-old centre-half who's been at Bournemouth now for 2 seasons, 3 seasons if we count the back end of the year. 36 games in the Premier League last year, and this year he's got just gone 36 Premier League games. He's played 86 games for Bournemouth in total and is getting rave reviews. Hence, clubs like Paris Saint-Germain coming in to buy the player. Now, there are a lot of Spurs fans that will go, well, hang on. We've got loads of defenders. We've got 9 centre-backs. What are we going to do with this guy? Now, I'll always say what I say at the beginning of every transfer video. Just because we're linked, just because there is solid interest, doesn't mean he's joining. But what it might mean is that things are happening behind the scenes, and we never know. Tottenham, for all we know, have no plans to sell Romero. They've got no plans to sell Van de Ven. We know that Dragoshin is injured. Danso has just joined the club. Takai has joined. Ben Davies has signed a new contract. Vuskovic coming back. Dorrington and Phillips, who I would probably think will be leaving the club either on permanence or possibly a loan. So, why would Spurs want Ilia Zabarnyi? And how much do you rate him? Now, this is a player I very much like. I think he's been really well coached over the last 2 years or so by Iriola at Bournemouth. He's formed a really good partnership over the last couple of years with Houston, who has since joined Real Madrid for 50 million. And in some ways, I feel very sorry for Bournemouth. Kirkes, Zabarnyi, Houston, Kepa's gone. I do feel sorry for them, but unfortunately, that is the way of the world, and that is how football transfers work. So let me show you what the noise is about, shall we? This is from Luca Bendoni, who, if you don't know who Luca Bendoni is, let me show you, just so you know that I'm not making this up. Luca Bendoni, there you go. He is part of the Sky Sports transfer team in Italy, and he is part of Marzio. So he's part of Team Marzio. So this has got a lot of clout. Now, what has he said? He has said this. Now, he said it. He's the first person I saw say it today. And now, as normal, other outlets are starting to get this story. So what's he said? He said Tottenham Hotspur are interested in centre-back Ilia Zabarnyi and would be ready to match Bournemouth's requested fee of 70 million euros, including add-ons. Now, 70 million euros in pounds, 60 million pounds. So it says that Tottenham will pay the fee of 60 million that includes add-ons. So you're probably looking at what, 55 million pounds plus 5 million add-ons, something like that. We'll pay it if the player is open to the potential move. Zabarnyi's priority is PSG. That is yet to agree on a fee with Bournemouth. Now, of course, I would fully expect that his priority would be PSG. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. They pay massive money. And I hate to break it to people. I know we say we're European champions. They are the European champions. They are the current Champions League winners. So I understand why Zabarnyi would want to go to them. But what will he offer Tottenham? Before we get to that, you'll see that Bendoni has finished off and said the next stage will be crucial to understand if PSG will move forward and launch a new offer. And that's come from Bournemouth, Tottenham, PSG and Sky Sport. There you go. All of the tags, they're all in there. Now, the first thing that people are going to say is this. The first thing they're going to say for sure is, but we don't need him. Now, for me, I think he's a very good centre-back. And what he does that I don't think many of our centre-backs do is he might not be as great on the ball. So the passes through the lines, the progressive passes, the progressive carrying. But compared to our other centre-backs, he is very, very dominant in the air. He's very dominant in his duels. And I'll show you this in a minute. And it's all well and good. You want centre-backs that bring the ball out, that pass, that carry it. But for me, first and foremost, I want centre-backs that are centre-backing, if that makes sense. I want centre-backs that are doing the dirty work, the doggy work. Stop that ball going in the net. Stop that striker getting a clean shot at goal. Go up in the air with that striker. Have that battle. Have that aerial duel. And this is what Zabarnyi does. And we will look at that in a minute. But I do get it. We've got a lot of centre-halves. So what's going to happen? The conspiracy theorists, of which we all are. We're all conspiracy theorists, aren't we? Because we hear a link and we go, well, that means this and this means that, and the circle of transfer life. The conspiracy theorists will circle and say, well, surely that means Romero's going. And we've heard that all year. But there's no bids. We've not seen any official bid come in for him. It's all gone very quiet. And for me, that would probably lead me to believe that he is staying at Tottenham Hotspur. But he has said a lot of things in the past, hasn't he? He's talked about going to La Liga. He's talked about our club in a derogatory way, if you will. And he would probably want to go and play with some of his Argentinian teammates. But maybe there's a curveball, something we've not thought about. Maybe one of the others is going. Maybe Davis was re-signed so we can move him on for a fee. I don't know. I'm just surmising at this point. Maybe Phillips, Dorrington, Vuskovic are all heading out. Maybe some on loan, maybe sold. I wouldn't think Vuskovic would be sold, but you get my point. Maybe Spurs want to go to three at the back. Imagine Van der Ven on the left, Zabarnyi in the middle, Romero on the right with Porro and Udogie. Sounds like a lovely back five, doesn't it? How strong is that? So let's have a little look, shall we? What do we know about this guy? Well, what we know is this. Let me just share my screen there. Let's have a look at his Wikipedia page. So we can see here that Zabarnyi, 22 years of age. Hopefully you can see that. Zabarnyi is 22 years of age. So quite experienced for a young guy, actually. And we'll have a look at that as we go down the page. But he's 22 years of age. He is a Ukraine international, right? With 49 caps by the age of 22. Think how impressive that is. He's played 49 games by the age of 22 for his country. So he's already well on the way to getting that 100 caps. 22. That's all he is. So you can see here that as we go down, so he's had what? 3 years playing in the Ukrainian Premier League for Dynamo Kiev, playing 85 times, and then has played 86 times for Bournemouth. So he's acclimatized now to the Premier League and to English football. So 171 games altogether. And there you go, just to confirm, 49 Ukrainian caps and the 3 Ukrainian goals. In terms of honours, he's won the Ukrainian Premier League, the Ukrainian Cup, the Ukrainian Super Cup. An individual, the year before last, he was the Bournemouth Supporters Player of the Season in 23-24 and the Ukrainian Premier League Player of the Month in April 2021. And before that, when he was a youngster, he won the Golden Talent Award. And I'm not going to pretend that I know what that is. But what we do know is this is a physically strong, physically imposing centre-half, right? Let's have a look at some other bits and pieces about him before I talk in general. If we remove that, now we're going to add to we're going to share the screen of his transfer page. Let's see if we can find out any other information that we didn't know about him. There you go. You can see there that he is 1.89 meters for anyone that cares, which I believe is just above 6'2". As we scroll down on his page, you'll see there the important thing. You can see there, where are we? Down here. He's got 4 years left on his contract, right? So he had a contract extension on the 24th of July, 2024, July. And it's interesting, right? Because he's got 4 years left, but Bournemouth are selling players. They are selling players. So the last thing we're going to look at is this, and make of this what you will. I just thought this was just interesting. I'm not having a go. I'm just having a look. I wanted to compare him to Christian Romero last season. And I thought this was really, really interesting because what you can see is, for a couple of the things, if you have a look here, a couple of the things, Christian Romero is way ahead. Forward passes. He is way ahead. Things like a possession one, carrying, progressive passes, they're actually quite similar. But what you will see is that the defensive duels and aerial-wise, Zabarnyi is better. Now, for me, we can look at that as either or, and I can have a look at Van de Ven in a minute, by the way. We'll see how he compares. Or you could look at and say, well, don't they complement each other perfectly? If they were both to play in a back three, for example, you've got the ball-carrying skills and the forward passes of Romero. You can see there the passing side of things, forward passes and passes, Romero's superior. But defensive duels and aerial, Zabarnyi is superior. So this is an interesting matchup. And bearing in mind that Zabarnyi is about 4 or 5 years younger than Christian Romero. So read into that what you will. Everybody can manipulate stats for however they see it. Now, if we chuck in Mickey Van de Ven into that, Mickey Van de Ven, we can chuck in there. So Mickey Van de Ven goes in with a purple. This might make it, I'll tell you, let me remove Romero there just because that's all a bit too much. So Mickey Van de Ven with a purple, and you can see again. Now, this is very telling for me because what you will see here is, again, what Van de Ven is better at is the same things that Romero was better at. The forward passes and the passes. But in terms of aerial defensive duels and possession one, Zabarnyi is leaps and bounds above Mickey Van de Ven. So again, does that complement them? Because we always say, oh, if he joins, he leaves. And we don't always know if that's true. By the way, this transfer might not happen, but I think it's a great link. I personally would love to see Zabarnyi join Spurs. I think he's everything I like in a defender. He's big, he's strong, he's consistent. He's not very error prone when you look at the statistics. I think he looks like a really, really good player. Now, this could be all circumstantial. For all we know, PSG might see this and go, right, let's wrap this up quickly. Bish, bash, bosh. He goes and joins PSG. Or there could be legs in this. Something might be happening at Spurs. We just never know. So, as we said, when you compare him to our centre-halves, he's better at some things, worse at others. I think this is a real interesting link. I'll leave it there, but I'm just bringing you what I'm finding out. This news story is gathering more pace. And as I said, this could blow in like most transfer rumours and blow straight back out. Or it could come in and stay. We never know. So let me know your thoughts. Zabarnyi, yes or no? Could he play in a back two like he does for Bournemouth with Van de Ven or with Romero? Would he replace Romero if Romero goes? All of these different questions. Maybe he plays in a back three. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for leaving your sensible comments and the silly ones. Much love. Take care. Subscribe. And as always, come on, you Spurs.